Good evening, I'm Cadet Downey, 1st Squad Leader, 2nd Platoon, Bravo Company.
And good evening, my name is Cadet Chin, Alpha Team Leader, 1st Squad, 2nd Platoon, Bravo Company.
And tonight we'll be giving you a brief on our route plan for the upcoming platoon ambush. Background information, team size, enemy element moving north along this road just to the east of the 89th East Team. Their objective is to reestablish the C2 that we just took out and to disrupt our platoon's area of operations. We are going to prevent this by conducting a platoon ambush on this kill zone, which is going to be located where this road crosses this stream. In order to conduct this ambush, though, we first need to figure out how we are going to get from our patrol base located here to the ORP located here about 3 clicks to the east. We have come up with 2 separate routes for this. I will be briefing the primary route, Cadet Chin will be briefing the alternate route. Let's get started. The start point, our patrol base located on this hilltop, we will be moving 225 meters, 90 degrees due east to checkpoint 1, down the side of that mountain towards the valley where that road runs through. There's extremely dense vegetation along this leg, so we'll have great cover and concealment, but we also have very limited observation, and it may also limit our ability to move. Order of movement for this leg and for actually the entire duration of the route will be 1st Squad followed by the first half of HQ element to include our PL, our RTO, and the 1st Machine Gun Team, followed by 2nd Squad, followed by the second half of the HQ element to include the PSG, the Weasel, and the 2nd Machine Gun Team, and 3rd Squad to bring up the rear. Each squad will be broken down into Alpha Team, followed by the Squad Leader, followed by Bravo Team. We will also be moving and traveling Overwatch for this leg, as there's a limited chance of enemy contact due to the fact that we are operating within an enemy-occupied territory. Once we have reached checkpoint 1, we will reorganize into a platoon file and use alternating bounding Overwatch to conduct an LDA crossing of the 2-lane highway here. Our method for getting across will be sending buddy team pairs of 2 across the road, while 2 will cover them. 1 will be facing north, 1 will be facing south along the road to alert them if enemy are coming or to react to contact if we are indeed spotted by enemy moving along this road. This is the highest risk point of contact for enemy contact along our route. Once the platoon is finished conducting the LDA crossing, we will reorganize into a platoon column, squad column, fire team wedge, using traveling Overwatch in the same order of movement as mentioned before, from the point where we have crossed the road all the way along the primary route until the ORP. The reason for this continuous method is because along the entirety of our route there is dense vegetation that will keep us concealed from any possible enemy observers, which we have identified to be possibly at key terrains 1, 2, and 3, which are major hilltops that the enemy could be using as observation points. We will be using the dense vegetation to stay out of sight from them and to be able to conduct our mission successfully. From checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 2, we are going to be moving about 500 meters along a 74-degree azimuth, dead reckoning up the spur here. There's a spur that leads up to where checkpoint 2 is, the top of that spur. It is a lot of uphill, so it may hinder our movement time slightly. Once we reach checkpoint 2, the top of that spur, we are going to guide to the west side of the ridge line, which runs from key terrain 1 to key terrain 3. The reason we are not going on the east side is because the east side is barren and easily observable from the opposite ridge line indicated by key terrains 5 and 6, which is due to the east of the valley indicated by the road and the stream. From checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 3, we're going to be handrailing a contour line in the general direction of a 60-degree azimuth, about 610 meters, to checkpoint 3, which is indicated by the beginning of a stream, which should be easily identifiable since it is summertime and the streams are fullest at this time of year. Upon reaching checkpoint 3, we'll continue to handrail the contour line just below the ridge top to checkpoint 4, again indicated by the beginning of a stream. From checkpoint 4 to checkpoint 5, we are now going to be moving across the ridge to the east side of the ridge as we have avoided the valley here. Moving from checkpoint 4 to checkpoint 5, this will be a dead reckon. We will be going at 180-degree azimuth, about 550 meters. Once we have reached checkpoint 5, which is indicated by yet again another beginning of a stream, we will have a great observation point because the stream leads down to, you guessed it, the kill zone. So we'll be able to see what's going on in that area and possibly plan ahead for our future platoon ambush. From checkpoint 5 to checkpoint 6, we're now be moving along the east side of the ridge to the east of key terrain 2, staying below the ridge line, so we are out of sight. That movement will be at 180-degree azimuth, about 550 meters. Handrailing the contour lines to checkpoint 6, which is indicated by the top of a spur. We'll then make a hard left to go due east, about 190-degree azimuth, 420 meters down the spur to our release point. While we're moving down the spur, again, we could have great observation of the draw where the stream runs down to the kill zone, so we could have good future observation for that. Upon reaching the release point, we're going to dead reckon the last 100 meters at a 54-degree azimuth to the ORP and begin setting up for a platoon ambush. I will now hand it off to Cadet Chin, who will go over the alternate route, which has some differences.
Alright, so for the alternate route, I'd like to make a key point that we'll be using the same movement order as mentioned by Cadet Downey for his primary route. One key difference though is that from the start point to our checkpoint 1, we'll be using a platoon file all the way down, and we'll be going from 800 meters about 153 degrees all the way to checkpoint 1. Keeping in mind of following the contour lines in between this ridge line right here with key terrain 4, hilltop 325, and in between the road. Now, once we get to the road over here near checkpoint 1, we'll then do the same movement as our primary route. We'll do a LDA crossing with alternating boundary overwatch with buddy teams. Once we reach the other side, we'll then form as a platoon, and we'll then form up with a platoon, column, squad, column, fire team wedge. And we'll then do bounding overwatch using the dense forest vegetation provided throughout the whole entire thing, and our same movement and technique all the way to our ORP in same order of movement. Now from checkpoint 1 all the way to checkpoint 2, it'll be 320 meters at 104 degrees, going all the way to the bottom of a draw. Now at the bottom of the draw, we'll then follow the contour lines and use the dense forest vegetation to go to checkpoint 3, which will be 320 meters at 73 degrees, which will reach the top of the draw, keeping in mind of key terrain points such as key terrain 5, key terrain 6, and key terrain 2, with possible enemy observation and enemy contact, but very unlikely. And we'll be using the west side of this ridgeline from checkpoint 3 to checkpoint 4, following the contour lines on the west side, which will be going at 380 meters at 52 degrees. Following that contour line, we'll be right below the top of the ridge line, and we'll hit a spur going down. But we'll not go down the spur, we'll stay on the top of the spur and use covering concealment with the deforested vegetation, going from checkpoint 4 to checkpoint 5, keeping in mind a key terrain 6. We'll be going at 380 meters at 0 degrees, or at 52 degrees. Now once we reach checkpoint 5, we'll then go hit a saddle, and then later go back up in elevation to checkpoint 6, following the contour lines. At checkpoint 6, we'll then reach the top of the spur. From checkpoint 5 to checkpoint 6 is 380 meters at 0 degrees. Then from checkpoint 6 all the way to the RP and ORP, we'll follow the spur downward at 440 meters, 90 degrees, to reach our RP, going straight and direct into our ORP.
This concludes our brief, pending any further questions. If there are no further questions, this is the end of our brief.